Nigeria to Ivory Coast. In a video posted on Instagram, the activist called on the chairperson of the Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, giving her a one-week ultimatum to repatriate the girls to Nigeria, warning that her failure to act will result in serious problems. He claimed that the trafficked girls in Ivory Coast were in their hundreds and that some were as young as 12 years old. Let's take a look.
So Abike Dabiri, the chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora, after this post, I am giving you exactly 1 week to find solution to this. Exactly 1 week. If after 1 week, these girls are not back to this country, I'll give you the biggest problem you have ever seen in your life. Nigerians, let me show you something. Take a good look at it.
Well, I don't think any of these girls, I don't think any of them here is up to 15. Let me ask them, they said they are from Nigeria, but some people from Nigeria have come and they found out that they are actually from Kano. So it seems like they've taken them to Nigeria before to go and beg. Sure. So from Nigeria now, they were moved here. So they think that they are from Nigeria, but they are originally from Kano when they were moved to go to Nigeria to go and beg. So this is actually Nigeria. Kids. This is like 0.3% or 2% of the entire problem that is happening here in Cote d'Ivoire, because there's a lot of shanties where a lot of Nigerians are, where they are using them for sex trafficking here in Cote d'Ivoire.
Well, meanwhile, Abike Dabiri Erewa has reacted to VDM's ultimatum, calling it ignorant and misinformed. Let's take Abike Dabiri's tweet she wrote on X. Totally wrong, misinformed, and ignorant call. Have you heard of NAPTIP Nigeria? It's the agency responsible solely for trafficking. NIDCOM has collaborated with them as much as we can. And for your information, using my own personal resources, not government, I'm sure NAPTIP Nigeria will treat appropriately. I advise you to tag them. I mean, Vimbai, this is a huge topic. I mean, I know on the cover of Daily Trust newspapers, if we can pull that up, and their lead story on the Daily Trust is traffickers using digital platforms to lure Nigerians. And NAPTIP is saying that over 7,000 victims have been rescued in 2 years. Digital platform. And of course, I reached out to Abike Dabiri Erewa, and she did talk to me about what kind of collaboration that they have been doing with NAPTIP. And she was graceful to send me, some of the roles of NAPTIP. I'll just read a few of them, and then I'll come to you. And, powers of NAPTIP, I'd like to educate Nigerians. They have the powers, one, to investigate whether any person, body, or entity has committed an offense under this act, or the offense of trafficking under any law. 2, enter into any premises, property, or conveyance for the purpose of conducting searches in furtherance of its functions under this act or under any other law. 3, arrest, detain, and prosecute offenders under this act or any other law on trafficking in persons in Nigeria. I mean, I would say kudos to NAPTIP, really. 7,000 Nigerians in 2 years. It's a lot. And kudos to also VDM for going out there and highlighting the plight of these young children who have been trafficked, most of them unknowingly, to Ivory Coast, saying that there are hundreds that are out there. As much as we give kudos to NAPTIP, we urge them to look into the case of those children trafficked to Ivory Coast.
Thank you so much for that. And those are the main points. First of all, I begin with those girls, not just these girls, all victims of trafficking around. Yes, it's a tall order for NAPTIP, but for now we know about this group, so we continue to advocate for NAPTIP in collaboration with NIDCOM to do something about this. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to Very Dark Man, I think it's important for us to always encourage activism.
Yes.
and for us to, to commend it. However, it's also important for us to set out the structures in the manner which we do so. I know he has his own way of communicating and getting his message across to his followers and so forth, but it's important to note that we can't threaten people on social media. That is not correct.
Yes.
Now to the main issue. NIDCOM itself, under Madam Abike Dabiri, last year, remember there was the issue of the Nigerian girls in Ghana. Yes. 13 of them. And she personally went to Ghana to visit these girls who had been promised jobs as sales girls in Ghana, and in collaboration with other stakeholders were able to bring them in. As from just the end, in the second half of last year, they were able to repatriate about 163 girls, young ladies who had been trafficked to various parts of the world. That's NIDCOM's own collaboration. So that's, separate to what NAPTIP is doing. So I understand, NIDCOM is more visible. So I understand the call to NIDCOM. she is doing her part in her capacity. It's not actually her ministry. That's not the work of the Diaspora Commission. NAPTIP is the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. That's why we're appealing for them to now get their attention to this particular issue concerning these young girls so they can work in the way that they have done so many times in the past to bring them back. Now, digital platforms, you now have what's happening in the region. You have Togo, you have Ghana, you have Cote d'Ivoire. Further off, you have Saudi Arabia, you have Qatar, you have so many countries where jobs are advertised. Sales girl, nanny, domestic staff, and so forth. And so many young girls get stuck out there. Those who come back with their lives are fortunate because many get there and they find that it's not real work, that they're enslaved, that they're abused, that the stories are harrowing, not just from Nigeria, from across Africa. So I'm really glad that we're talking about this, that this conversation has now come to the front burner. And as much as it is not the onus is not on NIDCOM to focus on this issue, we thank them for the collaboration in the past, and we hope